Okay, my name's Zakashi, guys, and in this video here, it's actually a requested video and it's something I should have done months ago, but considering he reran recently and a lot of people are going to be getting into GT this year, I thought I should just build up this video anyways, also including the fact that we did get Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta for the 6th anniversary. But we're talking about Super Baby 2 Best Teams and Equipment video. We're going to sort him out right here for you guys. I'm going to give you guys all the information you need. Hopefully this video is helpful. That's enough talking for the video now. Let's get into the core of it. Alright, so the first team we got here is GT. It's gonna be the first team we're talking about, so let me actually change the name quickly just so you know. So we got GT here. Let me go to the character list. I'm actually going to change the filter as well, so you want to go Sparking Ultra and just set it to GT so everything's easy to build, right? Cool, but let's look at what I've got here first. So without a doubt, you're going to want to have Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta on the leader slot. Not having him on the leader slot is insane, but I think you can put him on anyways. But even though his things, I believe it's Ultra Fusion Warriors, you'd just be losing out on the Ultra ability, the 30%. So 5 times 6, you get 30% of damage inflicted and key recovery. But yeah, that's just important to know. He's not GT orientated, but based on his Ultra ability. But we've got Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta on the leader slot. We've got Bomku for the extra layer of endurance. And he's also going to be cancelling buffs from everything, I believe, except blue cards. So like Ultimates, Awakened, and Rising Rushes, if they try to nullify his endurance. So people like Vegito, I don't think can kill him. And then also we have Super Baby 2 in the third slot, who I don't have. But we've got 2 Zenkai buffs. So Zenkai buff Super Saiyan 4 Goku. For Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, you can look at his Zenkai ability there, GT Purple. And then we've got Shenron over here, who's going to be a Zenkai buff for Super Baby 2. Because Super Baby 2, his role is to be anti-Saiyan, not just for himself, but for the team. And he's also going to be tanking a lot, where he fills his gauge, adapts, heals a bit, and you know he'll be getting those extra factors so he can do more damage. And when his gauge is filled, he's able to get like an ultimate that locks in, which is dope. He doesn't just spawn one, but if you use the ultimate through the main ability, you'll be able to lock them in, and he can do a blue card to empty it. So it's super useful, Super Baby 2. But I've got this EX Goku here as a HP buffer. He's the extreme one, kid one. It's super useful if you have lower stars, but this isn't obviously the only GT team you can build. So let's get into the other possibilities. I'm going to go to the character list now and show you what you could have. So the blue option, I'm not going to lie, you're pretty much stuck with Goku. I'm not gonna lie, if you want to run a blue, it has to be Bomku. None of the other options are viable in my opinion. As a green, Omega Shenron's obviously good. He's gonna be that endurance layer, well, indestructible layer. It's actually better than endurance high key, because you can't rush him and just kill him immediately. He also has like poison and heavy bleed, which breaks down the enemy gradually, which actually has a big effect than a lot of people like to believe. Going into purple, of course, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta shouldn't be anybody else. Everybody knows how good he is, so put him on the team. And then going into yellow, obviously Super Baby 2. You should really just be running Omega if you just want to Zenkai buff him, you know. Not Omega, Sin Shenron, sorry. Then going into red, we've got Super 17 over here. Range option, just putting it out there. He's pretty good, but you're gonna have to Zenkai buff him. You can use, like, I believe, red Omega, and you could also use 8 Vegeta, who I already had on the team, I believe. Or was it not? No, I didn't. My bad. But Red Omega, 8 Vegeta, sorry, does Zenkai buff Super 17. Then we also have Ultra Omega here, who's also an option if you're running 3 GT members. Not to be used on other teams, really, because he has to be stuck with 3 GT options to get a lot of what he needs through his platinum equipment, but he is also a useful option. Then I obviously didn't mention the 1% Sparking, who's actually a good option. A lot of people have been using this guy. If you do have him, you're able to run him alongside any of the GT guys, but running 2 yellows is kind of risky when you could possibly face off against like CMZ, who's a red, Ultra Vegeta or blue, Shin Shenron. I mean, Shin, not Sin. This guy's confusing me now. Shin alone, the Kai, he could obviously be a threat to you. You get what I'm saying? These reds that are in the meta. So yeah, if I didn't mention the unit, I wouldn't advise using them at all. This is just one example, but it doesn't need to look like this, you know. You could easily take off Bomku and then put Super 17 on, take this guy off, put Omega, keep Super Baby 2 on, because obviously the videos for him. G4 must stay. There's no scenario where you're not running G4. G4 must stay on the team. So yeah, just depending on how you wanted to go about it. Obviously, it's based on what you have, but I'm just showing you all the possibilities. The EX Goku, don't forget about him. He's a HP buffer for the team, and a lot of people do use him, especially if you have low stars. So that's going to be the first team. We got GT. So we got the next team for the video. We got Powerful Opponents, and I actually think this team is a better option for Super Baby 2 based on what it's going to offer you and the way the meta is shaped. Even though it doesn't have Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta on it, Powerful Opponents is actually really good and you don't want to sleep on it for multiple reasons. Now, of course, just like I did with the other team, go to Filter, Sparking, Ultra, then change this to Powerful Opponents so you can get only Powerful Opponents, which makes it easier for you to build. But let me show you the idea that I've put out for this team here. So we got Ultra Golden Frieza on a leader slot. You don't need to have him on the leader slot if everybody on your team is a Powerful Opponent, because his Ultra ability is based on Powerful Opponents to get that full 30%, 30 times 6 based on the Powerful Opponents on the team. Going into Golden Frieza, obviously he has the comeback, which is not revival, it's different. So even if Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta hits him with an ultimate, he will still regain all of his health, which is super good. And if Vegito, the blue one, the fusing one, rushes him, he won't be getting the buffs of taking out a revival character because he has comeback and not revival. So that's good. You basically get revival who does damage to you, you know, does damage to the enemy for getting his life taken out, which is dope. Obviously, Super Baby 2 is going to be second. But what I want to point out about Super Baby 2, his anti-Saiyanness. So if you look at his unique ability 1, it says 30% damage inflicted by allies against Tag Saiyan. So the reason why that's super good is because when you tie that with the third character on this team, Corrupt Zamasu, you're going to be doing insane amount of damage to Saiyans in general. Zamasu is also this anti-Saiyan type, which is going to allow Saiyans to just get obliterated. So the likes of Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and everybody on his Fusion Warrior team. Then we've got Zenkai buffs for everybody here. So Jiren is going to be Zenkai buffing Golden Frieza, Powerful Opponent. His Z ability also includes Powerful Opponent, which is dope. Then we got the Zenkai LL Full Power Frieza. He's going to be doing the same. So his Z ability, Powerful Opponent. Then Zenkai buffing Super Baby 2, which is dope. Then we got 8 Vegeta here, who's going to be Zenkai buffing Corrupted Zamasu, and his Z ability also works that way as well. So everybody's getting one Zenkai buff, and there's going to be a lot of damage output for the anti-Saiyan aspect, especially with Golden Frieza also being probably a big damage dealer. But this isn't the only way you could build powerful opponents, but I think it's the best way to build powerful opponents if you're asking me. I think Corrupted Zamasu is the best partner for Super Baby 2 because the damage them two will be doing together. Super Baby 2 breaking the combos, then Golden Frieza just being on the team as well with the comeback, basically revival, but it's not. It's super, super good. Let's go to the character list though. Looking at the blue options, I would only really recommend Janemba or the blue Beerus. The blue Beerus is low-key a sleeper option, but he's not amazing, but he's not bad. You know, he has explosive green, he can break your combo. Janemba obviously has the counter, you see the value in him. Depending on your stars, of course, but none of the other blue options I think are worthwhile. If we're looking at the green options are kind of looking lackluster except for the new guys down here that I don't have. So we have Omega Shenron with his Indestructible. Is decent, don't sleep on him. Indestructible is better than Endurance. It's like a step behind Revival, but it's better than Endurance. Then we also got Majin Buu Evil, but obviously running greens is risky in the first place just because of Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta existing. So I would actually shy away from greens, but if you did want to run one, these two are your best choices. They're not to be slept on. Going into yellows, we've obviously got Super Baby 2 on the team, and he's unironically the best yellow option to defend your team. So yeah, I don't need to talk more about that. And then going into reds, we got Super 17 Corrupted Zamasu. I would mention Ultra Omega, but with his plat, it's beneficial for him to be run specifically on GT and not like anything else. So I'd say specifically keep him tied to GT, specifically Ultra Omega. But he can be ran if you plan to run 3 powerful opponents, you know. So if we're running Omega, we're running Ultra Omega, and we're running, what's his name? Super Baby 2. That's 3 GT members, but it's still a powerful opponent you get. I didn't mention Blue Kid Buu as well, but if you want to push the team more range type, that could actually work. If we look at Super Baby 2, he's a melee type, which is obviously something you should very much keep in mind. But, of course, he's playing more of a support role with breaking combos, but he can also do damage in other ways like blue cards and ultimates. It's not going to be just the melee orientated damage and the range type orientated damage. So yeah, going back to the reds anyways, Ultra Omega, Super 17, and Corrupted Zamasu. I'd say Corrupted Zamasu is a first option out of anything. But yeah, I'd say this type of build is the best team. If you wanted a HP buffer, yellow Broly does that. This one here, Super Saiyan Broly. He is a good option to have if you have lower stars. You can increase some of your HP to help you survive a bit more. You know, if they Zenkai him and make his Zenkai ability powerful opponent with yellow. That's another Zenkai buff for Super Baby 2, but you shouldn't probably expect that, but he would be obviously super good for the team. But yeah, this is what we got here for powerful opponents. The second team, but I think it's actually a better team than GT, outside of the fact that G4 is just the best unit in the game by a landslide. So yeah, number 2, we got powerful opponents. Right, so this is going to be the last team for the video, and we've got regeneration. I wasn't going to add this team, but I processed it a bit longer, and then I realized most of the team is just Majin Buu Saga, but it's basically regeneration, which is what it would be based on Super Baby 2's tags. So Super Baby 2 is obviously going to be on the leader slot, but then the other 2 options, we've got Kid Buu, the Zenkai Kid Buu, who has endurance. He's a very good option, even though he's a range type character. Then the third one would be the evil Majin Buu, who came out with Ultimate Gohan. Now, Evil Majin Buu is a combo breaker, and then obviously Super Baby 2 is also a good combo breaker. Evil Majin Buu does that based on the amount of health that depletes. Then also, Super Baby 2 does it based on his gauge. So you're able to break combos very easily and start your own combos and do quite a bit of damage. Super Baby 2 is an anti-Saiyan type of guy. So do not sleep on the potential that these guys could have to do a lot of damage output. I've gone ahead and double Zenkai buff Super Baby 2, and I've given Kid Buu a single Zenkai buff, but you do not have to build the team like this, which is what we're going to go into right now. So make sure to get your filters right, sparking, ultra, regeneration. Let's go into it. So for the blue option, obviously we got Ultra Super Janemba, who's the option you can run, and he's melee orientated, but he doesn't have any protection, and I think he's definitely not a better option than Kid Buu in my opinion. Going into greens, obviously we got the evil Majin Buu. You could even have this kid as a revival option. Do not sleep on him, but he's range type as well. Well, he does a lot of blast damage from the seams of it, but he is range type. His Zenkai buff also doesn't buff anything that is relevant to regeneration, but his Z ability does work, so you could run him. And what's good about the greens is they have a lot of regeneration Zenkai buffs anyway. So if we look at Piccolo over here, he's an option. We got Fat Buu over here, he's an option. Do you get what I'm saying? So if you wanted to run any greens, obviously Omega's also here, you could run him as an option. Going into the purples, it's not looking the best, honestly. If you did want to run a purple, I'd recommend maybe Cell, but out of the purples that exist, I wouldn't recommend running Run. It's just not worth it. You might have to dive across to like powerful opponents, which I did show previously. Going into yellow, obviously you're going to have your main man Super Baby 2, and he can be Zenkai buffed, which I used Piccolo, and you also had DKP. Then you also have this guy here, Rage Shenron. He's a very good option. A lot of people have been using him, so don't sleep on him if you do have him. Then as a red, obviously CMZ, who I spoke about in powerful opponents, but then you got to think about like the Z abilities. Is it going to mesh well? He doesn't buff regeneration, so look at the other options that you're using. Fortunately, on this team, everybody's powerful opponent anyway, so CMZ can be used and it would work. On top of the fact that CMZ is regen, so say if somebody only buffed the regen, it would still go both ways back to what's his name? Super Baby 2 or Kid Buu, all of those guys. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, that's pretty much it for regeneration. I felt like I should mention it because it actually is a sleeper team, but it's basically Majin Buu Saga for the most part on the other two. So it's Evil Buu and Kid Buu, which makes it Majin Buu Saga. But with Super Baby 2, it's basically regeneration, you know. So that's just an option that you have, which is kind of powerful opponent as well, so the equipments will kind of cross over, just to put that out there. Now, if you're running Super Baby 2, you want it to have health restore and defenses. This equipment here, hello, are you napping, is super good. You get base blast, base strike up to 16% on both, but then you get, I believe it's 13%, yeah, of blast defense and strike defense if you're running him with G4. So this is obviously for GT if you're running Super Baby 2. Very effective. It basically fits him to the T because it's all about keeping him alive so his gauge can activate. If he dies before he adapts, I call him Super Gauge 2, Gauge or Raga. If he dies before his gauge fills, he's pretty useless. So you have to survive up until his gauge fills, which is what's important. And you can get this from the co-op, and you can get it from the hyperdimensional dual coin shop, co-op shop, you know, whatever you want to call it, those two places here. We got this equipment here obviously for GT. If you're running a GT and Fusion Warrior battle member for the blast, pure blast, and then on this one you need a strike, you get strike 12% strike attack if there's another battle member that's a GT battle member. So you also get HP, which is good for keeping him alive, obviously. And then if you want to get this, you can get this from the dual coin exchange shop. Should go without saying, if you're running him on powerful opponents, you got the special move damage, the ultimate damage, which is a very essential thing for him. His blue card empties his gauge, which you really want damage on, or you can do an ultimate, which also locks in if he presses it. So that's super good. Ultimate damage, special move damage, you can't go wrong with them. Then you get strike defense and blast defense, but you get offenses based on there being 3 powerful opponent battle members. So that's why I mentioned this is for specifically powerful opponents. How you can get this is from the dual coin exchange shop. Since he's melee orientated, but like I said, you want him to do special move damage, you can get this equipment here. Special move damage, 10%, and then you get key recovery, strike defense, and you also get strike attack, which he is melee orientated, so that will help him out. You can get the memory from the Zakashi Ultra Space Time Rush shop. But if you want the unawakened version, what you're going to want to do, go to characters, then go to equipment, then go to archive, then change the filter. So I'm going to take this off, and then I'm going to look for GT, press OK, and then you can see the unawakened versions here, which you're going to need to awaken it. So you can see here the unawakened version is not good, you've gone too far, but you can get it from the equipment medal exchange shop. This equipment here is kind of a sleeper, and I don't even think it's available right now. I believe it's from a sell event that comes back in the event section, but you might already have one. You will die along with the earth. You can see here you get strike and blast attack, but if you really want to maximize that special move and ultimate damage, this is equipment you can run. It is beneficial. I do run it with a lot of my regeneration characters, and surprise, surprise, not really. Super Baby 2 is a regeneration character, so you can put him on that team. I just can't show you where to get it right now, but if you do have it, it's something I would run. I'm not saying it's the best equipment, but special move and ultimate damage, if you want to make him more melee, like output damage orientated, even though that's not his main role, you can do that with this equipment. This equipment here is specific for all my Saiyan haters. Now, the meta right now, it's kind of a mix between Saiyans, and then you see a lot of powerful opponents. But if the meta was ever strictly Saiyans, even Super Baby 2 himself is part of Saiyans, you can run this equipment here, which you can get a lot more damage to specifically Saiyans and hybrid Saiyans. So Ultimate Gohan, you're not safe either. You get this, you get the pure damage straight to them, you know. You get strike attack as well, which is melee oriented. You could even see Super Baby 2 on the image for GT powerful opponent, and you get some defenses. This is obviously the memory that you need. You get it from the Zakashi Ultra Space Time Rush shop. But if you need the unawakened version, it's over here. I got you. You can see it's okay, but it's like for time accounts. So the first 60 time accounts, you'll be getting it. You really want the awakened version. You're going to see here, you need to get it from the equipment medal exchange shop, and then you go ahead and awaken it. Advisory to only do it in the Bonanza, of course. Awakened equipments are annoying, but yeah, you need equipment medals to get this, and then you're going to need the memories, and then you awaken it. This equipment in general is just good for him because of the health restoration aspect. Super Baby 2, you don't want him to die. He doesn't have endurance or something, so his value is his gauge. Health restoration is always going to be effective. You get defenses out of this as well, and strike attack, which is exactly what Super Baby 2 needs because he's melee orientated. You can get this from the Ultimate Equipment Collection, normal GT battle. But yeah, man, that's going to be the end of the video for Super Gauge 2 Gauge Oraga. I should have really done this a long time ago, but hey, man, as long as we got to it, hopefully this video was useful, and we're definitely bound to see a lot more of him in PvP going forward with the fact that this whole year is GT, and GT is looking amazing right now, and like, no joke, the stocks are looking really up for them, so it's really good news for the GT guys, you know. But yeah, if you haven't already, make sure to press that subscribe button. We're on this grind to 100,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for watching, man. My name's Zakashi, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.